We met at Tyler Junior College. She walked into the Leslie Foundation at Tyler Junior, I'll never forget it, wearing a pink pair of pedal pushers, a white blouse, prettiest blue eyes and blonde hair I'd ever seen. And so, you know, being an incredible ladies man, I made my move and got turned down the first 3 times for a date. Almost to the day. A year later, she gave birth to our first child. 4 days after that, I was deployed to Vietnam with the 173rd Airborne Brigade, and an almost 20-year-old bride was left alone with her baby in the Japanese community. We weren't authorized American housing. But when we went to Vietnam, Georgie flew home. She moved back into the farmhouse that she was literally born in. There were 7 kids and she was the baby, and had all been born in that house. Well, she went to work. She got a job. Mama took care of the baby, grandmother, if you will, took care of the new baby, and she had a mission. She wanted to buy a car for her husband so he'd have a clear title on a nice car when he got home. She went to her banker and at the age of 19 secured her first bank loan with a hometown banker that had known her all her life. He offered to lower the payments and she said, no, it's got to be paid for when Bill gets home. I stepped off the airplane coming back from Vietnam in 1966 with my arm in a sling. I'd got in an argument with a machine gun. It didn't do well. At any rate, I was looking at the most beautiful car with the most beautiful girl in Texas standing in front of it as my surprise coming home present. And the car behind us is literally that car. A buddy of mine, happens to be a cop, and I were doing what old men do. We were talking about old cars we used to have and wish we still did. Well, the story about Georgie and how hard she worked for that car came up. And he said, Bill, it's doubtful that it's still alive. It's a 51-year-old Chevrolet, probably in a junkyard in pieces by now. But they didn't have computers in those days, but I'll call Van Zandt County, ask them to go back through the archives with her name and the type car. They'll be able to, in all probability, come up with a VIN number. Handwritten, admittedly, but a VIN number. And he said, with a VIN number, I'll tell you whether it's alive and well. Well, to make a long story short, it was alive. It was in Connecticut. A guy in Branford, Connecticut had it. I called him, rebought the car, and had it shipped here. His son and his buddies had used it as a project, and they're going to college, in auto body work, and then in mechanical work, and had restored the car from bumper to bumper. I asked the guy if it was for sale. He said, well, actually 3 days ago I decided to sell it. I bought it in '84, been driving it ever since, love the car, but the kids are on Dad to get a more modern vehicle. So yeah, you called me at the right time. My lady was the most brilliant person I've ever met. Now she is the most wonderful, beautiful 5-year-old child I've ever taken care of. And people will try to pat me on the back for that. Let me tell you something. Great husbands are made by great wives. It is an honor, it's a privilege, it is an absolute joy to get up to that lady in the morning. She will once again sit on her patio, and her husband will make her favorite blueberry pancakes with little pecans in them for breakfast, which I did every day here. She is a special lady, deserves to be treated that way, and the greatest blessing and the greatest honor I will ever have is caring for her today. Pardon me, I'm gonna, I guess, get myself choked up, but she wasn't smart when she had those strokes. She was an absolute, unequivocal genius. My lady and I will celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary on the 5th of next month. And that's my girl's golden wedding anniversary present.